What's poppin', guys? You got your coach of the Chim Chargers for our Week 4 GBA match versus Jolt of the Kansas City Jirachiefs. And we are both currently 3-0 right now in the league, both undefeated so far, but one of us are going to be handing the other a nice L as we continue on throughout the season. So hopefully we can come through here. He has a team of Breloom, Gardevoir, Aerodactyl, Celesteela, Seismitoad, and a Hydreigon. We have the team from yesterday's building video, so be sure to check out the sets from that video if you want to know what I'm bringing. And looking at his team, he brings Pokemon that I kind of expected him to bring, except maybe for Breloom. He did not bring Arcanine either. And I was kind of surprised about that, since I prepped a lot for Arcanine, since it gave my team a lot of trouble during preparation. Breloom, I was kind of surprised because I have like Pinsir and Moon-guss and stuff, but maybe he has some sort of tech on it to deal with that. For his other Pokemon, I expect his Rocker to be Seismitoad, Aerodactyl probably offensive with Roost or something. Gardevoir could be Specs or Scarf, and Hydreigon probably Scarf. I mean, he's known to bring multiple Scarfers to a game. I was checking out his matches as well, so I would not be surprised about that. My team, of course, so I felt that my best lead versus his team was probably either going to be Empoleon or Tapu Koko. I felt like Empoleon is probably best all around, just because if he does lead Seismitoad, I have Grass Knot for it, and I also have the ability to Rock and Defog and stuff. So I figured that would be a great lead, because it does really well versus, like, it does pretty nice matchup versus like 5 out of 6 of his mons. And if he leaves Breloom, I can just easily switch out to a Moon-guss. So I figured my game plan was to try to get rid of Celesteela so that I can put in work with Mega Pinsir. So let's just go ahead and see what went down here, and let's just go ahead and start the game, and I'll show you guys what happened. So as you can see, he is challenging me, and he decides that he's gonna lead off here with his Breloom. So I was like, okay. So he made a great lead here, great lead choice. I'm obviously forced out of Empoleon, so I'm going to switch out here into my Moon-guss, but he actually makes it double into a Celesteela, predicting probably the Moon-guss to come out here. So that was a great turn 1 switch there, but I'm like, okay, his Z-mover is going to be Celesteela, because he has that on his team here. So I'm like, okay, this must be a Z-mover. I'm going to go into my Slowbro as he goes for a sub, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be an annoying match. He has a sub Celesteela with leftovers, likely going to have Leech Seed as well. I'm running some sort of special attack on my Slowbro, so I'm like, okay, let's see if this can break the sub, and I can kind of get an idea of what kind of investment he has. So I'm going to go for the Scald here, and it actually does not end up breaking at all. So I'm kind of in a little bit of a pickle trying to deal with the Celesteela. It's a bit annoying, so I got to make some sort of maneuvers. I have a Leech Seed on me as well, so I need to know more information about the Celesteela. So I'm going to switch out here into my Moon-guss and see if he has anything, because I'm double AV. I'm AV Slowbro, AV Moon-guss. So he actually goes for the Air Slash, and I can see he does a decent amount of damage, not too much. I can easily regenerate that back, and I gotta try to like pivot out somehow into my Tapu Koko safely. So I'm gonna go back into Slowbro here, expecting him to want to go for another Air Slash, as he does. And by now he should know I'm double AV, because Slowbro's eating it up even better than a Moon-guss. So I can now switch out here, or I do stay in to try to break his sub. I take another Leech Seed, so I can probably switch out this next turn. So I just want to break the sub. It does take 2 Scalds to break it, so that's a little bit annoying, because he can sub on my Moon-guss, he can sub on my Slowbro. A lot of my defensive Pokemon that I brought, he can sub on. So I'm going to switch out now into my Tapu Koko, knowing full well that he is not going to have much for it in terms of dealing damage from Celesteela to Tapu Koko. He goes for his sub, so this is where I have to like kind of pivot out and momentum myself into other Pokemon. I'm gonna go here for the Volt Switch, expecting him to want to go for a Leech Seed, and I gotta kind of wear it down in this way, like where he's gonna keep going for sub, he can't recover with Leech Seed, and he's just taking more damage than he's restoring with his HP from Leech Seed. So I go to Moon-guss, he tries to Leech Seed, doesn't affect me, and I'm actually going to switch right back out, double right back out into my Tapu Koko, expecting him to want to go for sub again, as he does just that. And I can go for another Volt Switch. I'm free to go for Volt Switch. I don't see Protect on his set, so I know for a fact he probably does not have Protect. So I'm going to go for a Volt Switch here. This time expecting him to want to go for an Air Slash on my Moon-guss, expecting me to go back into a Moon-guss again. I'm going to actually go into my Slowbro. And as you can see here, he goes for the Air Slash. So he did expect a Moon-guss to come back out, I believe. And now I'm like, okay, I can probably do this. I can probably keep doing this. So I'm going to go back into Tapu Koko, but he actually switches out into his Seismitoad to sort of stop this trend of what I'm doing. And now I'm like, okay, so I do have Volturn on my Tapu Koko itself. I have Volt Switch and U-turn on it, so I can go for a U-turn here and switch out into my Empoleon, expecting him to want to go for Stealth Rocks, but he actually goes for the Earthquake. And I have a Shucka Berry, so I do eat it up. I felt that I could live this next Earthquake. I kind of make a very impatient play here based on how the turns are going. I should have thought about this. I go for Grass Knot, knowing full well like he had a Rindo Berry. I should have known this, or I should have like stopped myself to like tell myself that he has a Rindo Berry. But the thing that surprised me was that he actually knocked me out with Earthquake here, and I did not have time to get up Rocks in this game. Rocks would have helped out so much, so that was my misplay there. So yeah, unfortunately, it'll take its toll sooner or later. But I go into my Pinsir so that I can try to get off as much damage as I can on that Seismitoad. He switches out, smart play, goes into his Aerodactyl, and I'm going to go ahead here, just get up a nice return on this Aerodactyl here. This is about 50%, a little bit more than 50, like maybe 55-60%. And this is where I'm a little bit confused. Like, I switch out here into my Slowbro because I know I can tank it pretty well if he's offensive. He goes for Stealth Rocks, and I'm sitting there scratching my head like, wait, wasn't Seismitoad supposed to have Rocks? So I basically got stunted on with his prep there. Nice Aerodactyl with Rocks and not Seismitoad. So he goes into Gardevoir. This is where the next bit of my trouble starts here. This is AV Gardevoir. Judging by the damage, like I didn't know from Psychic. I thought, okay, I'll just Scald here and find out. Look at the Scald damage. It didn't do much. And this Gardevoir is AV. So, like, I expected him to be like a Choice Lock set, but AV Gardevoir is just so good versus me. I didn't even know why I didn't think about it. But he copies Regenerator. Like, I can't dent this thing at all. I can't switch into any of my Pokemon because it just does so much work. He predicts me to go into a Moon-guss to try to regenerate my Slowbro because I needed it for Aerodactyl, which is offensive Aerodactyl. So I'm going to go back into Slowbro, just trying to regenerate myself at this point. And he goes for another Psychic. And basically, I'm just like sort of dancing around, and he just has to like shoot to the left, and he got me. So I'm going to go back into a Moon-guss here. He just keeps clicking Psychic, so that's pretty much that. I'm going to go, it would have been, like I definitely did not have much for AV Gardevoir, so yeah, unfortunate. I'm gonna go back to Pinsir, which there are rocks on my field. If I got those rocks up, he could not have brought an Aerodactyl, so I really wish I did that, but unfortunately I did not. So yeah, now I'm just gonna go for the return here as he switches out, saving his Gardevoir, actually getting back Regenerator HP from that into his Celesteela. So this thing is so bulky. I know it has defense and Spadef like investment in it, so it eats it up. I really thought he was going to bring like an offensive set. And actually, if I recall, I talked to him after the game, and he said that on his like earlier prior draft, he had like offensive Celesteela. So I could not abuse that. Like I thought Mega Pinsir could just destroy with like close combat, but it just ate it up completely. So I'm just trying to get up as much damage as I can. And he's able to knock me out here with the Air Slash. Still not over yet though. Like Alolan Raichu has a pretty decent shot at just cleaning up in the end. And here what I'm gonna do, I believe, I just go into Tapu Koko. At this point I'm just like, just let me knock out a Pokemon, dude. Let me just get rid of a Pokemon. So I'm gonna go Tapu Koko here, get up the Electric Terrain. I do have the Terrain Extender for my Raichu. I go for the T-Bolt. I'm able to knock him out. Probably did not want to over predict and go for Dazzling Gleam here, so that's why I probably stayed in, thinking I'd make some desperate plays. Goes to Breloom, so I'm like, okay, this is obviously Focus Sash. I need my Tapu Koko for my Terrain Raichu and stuff, so I'm just gonna stack off my Slowbro here at this point because the only like Pokemon that I need right now are my Tapu Koko and my Raichu, which is the only Pokemon I kind of have left. So he's gonna be able to knock me out here, and it's all up to Raichu. Raichu has Focus Blast for Hydreigon, it has T-Bolt, it has Psychic, all that stuff. I'm gonna go here into my Raichu, and I can just go ahead and T-Bolt this Breloom, knock it out. I have a Life Orb, so with the Electric Terrain, it's able to knock it out here, even though it's not very effective. And yeah, basically AV Gardevoir just comes back out again, and I'm like, yeah, this thing is a huge problem. He's a huge problem here, and I'm just gonna go right for the Volt Switch. I can't knock it out with the T-Bolt, and I need Alolan Raichu left to actually have a decent shot at knocking out his other Pokemon. So I'm gonna sack off Tapu Koko. His Trace AV Gardevoir, right? So he's gonna be. He copied my Surge Surfer, so he's like gonna be faster than my Tapu Koko. I know full and well that was gonna happen, but I needed my Raichu at the end so I could try to like take out his other members of his team. So I'm gonna go back into it right now, and I guess he wants to end up saving his Gardevoir. goes into his Seismitoad here, and I kind of overestimated the power of Raichu because I go for a nice Life Orb Psychic, and that Toad just eats it up. Good lord. Seismitoad coming through with the Earthquake, knocking me out, and that is going to be GG. Joel played really well, and I think the one thing that I learned from this match was not to underestimate his prep. His prep is really solid, and I think I think going into the future matches, I should not underestimate anybody, especially Joel of all people, which I think is the mistake that I made this week. So I feel like if my team was more optimal, like I would have had a much better shot, but like there was no way of knowing that he would bring what he brought. For certain sets, especially like Emvee Gardevoir, which I did not even realize was gonna come at all. I kept thinking in my mind it was gonna be like Scarf or Specs or something, and I thought he was gonna bring Arcanine as well, which he didn't. Overall, I think I did not play terribly, but at the same time I don't think I played to the best of my ability. I also think that just Joel played really well and prepped really well. His prep was on point for this match, just really solid versus me. So good game to him, of course, and be sure to check out his channel as well as the match on his side. I'll be watching that as well, and I'll be learning, I'll be observing, and when I play him in the playoffs, which it's gonna happen. Like we're gonna make the playoffs. Like I gotta give a shout out to my boys in the Ula Ula. They all copped an L for me this week because I did as well. So we're gonna move up, guys. We're gonna move up. We didn't lose much by losing this week. We won 6-0 last week, so this doesn't really impact it too much. We're at 3-1 right now with a +9 differential. So gotta think of the bigger picture, I guess, overall, and be positive about it. I did learn a lot from this match for sure, and we'll be acting upon it in future weeks. To incentivize myself, I've already basically told myself that if I don't win next week, I'm gonna trade Hoopa Unbound for Pikachu. So you heard it here first. I'm gonna do just that. Overall, just to reflect on this match, I think like really the biggest thing that sort of changed the way the game went was Empoleon. Like I played so carelessly with it. It worked. It was doing well week 1, week 2, week 3, and then week 4 I just tarnished his name. So Empoleon, forgive me, please. Accept my apology. Next week, I'm gonna make it work again. Best defogger in the world. But yeah, Stealth Rocks would have been so nice to have in this match because it would have pressured him, and he would have likely had a lesser chance of getting up rocks on his own because he would have had to bring it in at some point. So yeah, unfortunately, things went the way that did this week, but we may have lost the battle, but there's still the war that's yet to be won. Hope you all enjoyed, and let me know what you guys think, of course, and I will see you guys on the next one, on the next week. We're gonna try to win that one as well. Otherwise, I'm gonna have a Pikachu on my team. Good game, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.